on the live stream,
Oh, darn.
and I'm starting the webinar, so that'll let the attendees in.
So let me switch my background. Okay.
Yeah.
I think
Have
that's,
fun with a hot dog on top of your head.
Yeah.
Minimally appropriate.
that's right.
Minimally appropriate
Sauerkraut
background.
and relish. That's thoroughly appropriate. And I'm foggy again.
That's much classier.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Is that
That's the Roman food court. Is that what
No.
that is?
Yeah, now I'm in Rome.
Nice.
Oh,
Jay's in France or somewhere.
I look like I'm in a fog in the basement.
Yeah, you do a little bit.
Hello, everybody.
I keep.
Hi, Peter.
Hi, Peter.
Oh,
Hi, Peter.
oh, Peter, you're taking minutes today.
Who?
You.
Me?
You. I know nobody read the tail end of my email.
Oh,
I never got that.
I don't know if I
email
could
with,
do it today.
Oh, and why is that? You don't have a pen?
No, I'm up to here and meetings and everything. I'll do it next time. Is that okay?
I think next time it's supposed to be Jay. Do you want to switch off, Jay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
But
What a guy.
now I have to get pencil and
Thank you,
paper.
Jay. Thank you.
Yeah, take your time, Jay. Hey,
One
Doug,
minute.
Doug. Hi.
how are your parents?
Thank God.
Mind you, we're
okay.
being recorded.
They're okay. It's challenging as ever, trying to get the vaccine, working
Yeah.
on that nightmare, that nationwide nightmare.
Yeah. I
You
was
know
on
where
a
you
call
can
the
get
other
a
day about
vaccine?
the websites, and they
No.
were going through all these details, and then they eventually came to the conclusion that it all worked so much better if there was a greater supply. So it's got nothing. It's not really the website; it's the absence of doses available. You know.
We went to Staten Island
Yes.
and we got it very easily in Staten Island
At the drugstore or something?
because most of the people there don't believe in
that's-
the vaccine, you know?
Well, we can fix that. We can just stop running the ferry, and then all will be well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
David got it in the Bronx. Yeah.
I don't mind
Yeah,
that. What I mind is when people come from out of the 5 boroughs and come and use our separate allocation.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that on the live stream, should I?
I understand that they're opening 250 pharmacies. Is it 250
Walgreens is already doing it.
in
That's a bunch.
Manhattan?
Yes, in Manhattan.
Right, and some
No
independent
kidding.
pharmacies too. Yeah,
Does that mean Dwayne Reed as well?
well,
I
yeah,
don't know, but it's
probably Walgreens is, Walgreens owns Dwayne Reed, right?
Yeah, right.
For
Anyway,
6 hours.
we have 3 people in
Is
the
anybody here?
attendees. I
Okay,
don't know if they're here for, they might be presenters. But co-chairs, I don't know if you want to, do we have a quorum? We have a quorum, right?
You do?
we are
Yeah.
a 10-member committee now,
Right, Paige and Doug are not with us.
and Paige.
I just left Paige in another meeting, so she won't. be-
Coming?
Yeah.
You
There's
know?
Doug.
There's Doug.
Yeah.
Hey, Doug,
Yeah.
Look at that mustache.
Coming in.
Very nice. You're on mute.
I can't hear you.
For the entirety of 21.
Very good. Good luck.
Oh, it's
Okay, Michelle, is it okay if I ask we have 3 people in the attendees, maybe I'll ask them which one they're here for, and
Yeah, great
Please.
idea.
hi, Brett Carney, are you here for one of the applications?
Yes, hi, I'm Brett Kearney with Bruner Kearney Architects. Yeah, we're the architects presenting for 33 West 74th Street.
Okay,
Is that the
great.
first one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
That's
yes.
All right, so I'm promoting him to panelist so we can
Okay.
see and hear him.
Congratulations on the promotion, Brett.
Someone's feeling heroes tonight. Mr. Bruno, are you here for, I see your hand up. Are you here for, which application are you here for?
I'm here with Brett Kearney. We're partners with Bruno Kearney Architects.
Okay,
So up you come to panelist as well. And Ms. Avigdor, I'm probably mispronouncing. Which one are you here for?
she's here also.
You have to unmute on your end too.
I'm sorry, is Mr. Bruno for the second application?
No, first
No.
one.
First one.
First?
No, yeah. with Brett.
with
Brett,
Mr. Carney.
Brett will do
Correct.
most of the talking and presentation. And I just have to say, Susan Swartz, you have a lovely home.
Oh, thank you.
What Naomi
It's hard to
is
get that
from
much
where?
space in Manhattan,
Well,
but that's nice.
Naomi Avigdor, 45 West 85.
Very good. So
Okay,
we'll
and you're
promote you to
number two.
panelist. We'll promote you to panelist when we call that application, okay? But it
Okay.
sounds like,
That's
What's
the
this
second
number 1 for? I still never got the,
33
West
West
no,
70.
what's the
74.
application for?
windows and
Wait, which
Windows?
one?
other things.
The first one is for a, they want to put a bulkhead in the roof. They want to change windows in the front and the back. It's a complicated,
yeah, I think they're casements. Anyway, why don't I shut up?
so,
Yeah.
hello, Mr. Kearney. My name is Michelle Parker. I co-chair this committee with Kay Carpin, and you are in front of the preservation crew. You see everybody's name. They're all committee members. Doug Kleiman is our VEP, and we're ready to hear your presentation at 33 West 74.
My last interruption will be, do you guys want to share your screen, or shall I pull up your application on mine?
If you can do it, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that should have it.
Right. Okay. Let's see, or maybe it's better if I. Okay, so it's 33 West 74th Street. It's a brick and stone townhouse. Was built originally in 1889 as a group of 5, I believe. It's pretty notable. It's the building that has the wisteria growing up the facade of it. Our application is pretty much we're doing a full renovation of the house. We can convert it from a 2-family to a 1-family townhouse. And part of that, we will be doing, as far as exterior work, we'll be doing replacing windows on the front facade and changing the type from proposed to change the type from casements to from double hungs to casements. As mentioned, we're proposing a roof bulkhead to bring the stair up to the roof and have a roof terrace. Also on the roof, we'll be locating mechanical equipment up towards the front behind it. This building actually has a very high parapet, so we'd be locating mechanical equipment behind the parapet. And then on the rear facade, we'll be reconfiguring openings and installing new wood casement windows, as well as some as far as featured steel casement windows for a bay window. And this is all in addition to a full renovation of the interiors of the building from the whole building. If I could, you can go to the next page, and this is the proposed plan, existing and proposed plot plan. So in the upper plan, you see where the proposed bulkhead is located. It's set back about 26 feet from the front facade. So it's towards the middle of the building there. You can probably go to the next slide. This is the just the zoning calculations for the building. Again, you see the 3-dimensional in the upper right-hand corner is the 3-dimensional axiometric diagram showing the size of the bulkhead. It's basically, and matches the height of the adjacent bulkhead on the property to the west, which is a dotted line there. Our bulkhead has a hatch pattern on it, and the adjacent bulkhead is there. And then just below there, the section diagram, which shows the sightline diagram from across the street. And according to the sightline diagram, it's would not be visible per the from the sidewalk from the street.
Mark, could you zoom in on that a little bit so we could get a look? Is that easy?
Sure, but I think I have to do this first.
That helps.
You said the diagram shows that it's not visible from the street. I'm having a hard time just
Yeah.
seeing it.
Oh,
Yes,
what did I
correct.
just-
And then, yeah, just scroll up a little bit more.
Yeah, I gotta, something funny happened there. Give me 1 second.
No problem.
So the parapet is goes how much higher than the line of the building?
It's about 5 to 6 feet.
Mhm.
And that's actually, we're kind of going to adjust the roof line to get a little bit, and there's a,
Sloping roof.
yeah, the steep and slope, we're going to lower the slope of the roof a little bit. So we have a little bit more height. So we can, and right now there's some bracing on the wall. We're going to take the bracing out, replace it with a steel structure that actually will act as both bracing and also dunnage for the steel or for the mechanical equipment. So basically the mechanical equipment will be right up against that.
Do you have a mock-up up there? Because I was there today.
Yes. Yes.
I didn't see it. I couldn't see it from either side of the street.
No, it's not. There's photos.
We built the mock-up a couple of months ago, and Landmarks never actually came out to see it. We photographed it, and then with all the bad weather, we had to take it down.
Well, it's still it's still up.
The frame
The frame is up.
The plywood off. Yeah.
Some of the plywood, we had to take some of the plywood off because of the high wind alerts the last, the building department announcements or whatever. But I think I also, part of the package, I submitted photographs of the mock-up.
Right.
Both,
I was glad not to be able to see it. That was a good.
both from the street and also up there, so you can see what it, so again, all right. So that's what's on the screen. There is the diagram. You can see between the roof and the top of the parapet, it's like 5-6 feet, and and that's from the other side of the roof.
Okay.
Okay.
So you say the parapet is 5 or 6 feet?
Well, we have another, I
Which
think
is-
we have another section further down you'll see in more detail the section drawing.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a fairly wide building, right? Relatively.
It's 20 feet.
20 feet, 20 feet.
Is it
20
20? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a 20. Yeah.
How high is that new bulkhead? It doesn't give a dimension.
Yeah, Peter says 71, 8 3/4.
So it's and the building height is 60.
No, I mean the actual from the roof to the top of the new bulkhead.
That is about let's see, 11
Maybe 9
feet.
feet.
11 foot?
11 foot 8. So you show I'm calling out the
To the top of the parapet.
71 feet to there. It's 11 feet, 11 to 12 feet.
Yeah,
Not
with
to be
the,
picky, but 5 or 6, 11 or 12. I
Yeah,
mean, somewhere
agree.
there's a measurement. It's either.
11
right here,
feet,
guys.
8 and 3/4. How about that? Greg?
How much?
11 foot, 8 and 3/4 inch.
right, to the parapet, which we're required to have either parapet or a railing on top of the bulkhead.
Right, so the roof line is actually 9 feet. Looks like 6 and 5/8.
Correct.
So it's just under 10 feet to the roof line, and then the parapet adds another couple of feet.
Right. It
Right,
could be a roof. It's either a parapet or a railing. We don't have any equipment up there. I think we just have some ventilation on top of that. Some ventilation. So
I
we,
apologize if I lost track, but
right.
did you answer the question as to the
Sure.
height of the bulkhead from the roof to the?
Yeah,
top?
hold on a second. Yeah.
Well, it's 11 feet. You could take the measurements and subtract.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
as I said, I lost track. So is it 11? The last I heard was
11 foot 8 1/4.
Brett's figuring it out. He's looking at the drawing. He's
Yeah,
calculating.
yeah, I'm just looking at there. 11 feet 11 to the top of the parapet on the bulkhead.
Okay.
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 Okay,
Sure.
Okay.
so we can scroll back.
Is that specifically for an elevator?
No, it's for stair access.
But you will have an elevator in the building as well.
Yes, but we're not. The elevator is not going to the roof. It's only going to the 4th floor.
That's the
Eh.
top
But
floor.
if it's for stair access, why do you need 11 feet? That seems very high for access to a stair, which normally you would need about 8 or 9 feet.
Well, we're getting a we have about 8'6" ceiling. We have a ceiling. Let's see, we have a 9-foot ceiling there, and then we have a couple feet, or actually have an 8'6" ceiling. Then we have a couple feet for mechanical ductwork above that ceiling, because we have some exhaust ductwork going above that ceiling into that roof. And then we just have a foot or a 21-inch parapet around the perimeter to hide some of that, ductwork. And what we were trying to do is we matched our parapet height, our total bulkhead height, to the adjacent bulkhead on the building to the west of us.
We actually have the tallest parapet of all the buildings. Both the adjacent buildings have a little bit lower parapets than we do, or street facades. But they're all, it looks like all the buildings were built at the same height, just about, and then the parapets vary. The building to the east looks like it was modernized and had a cornicectomy at some time.
Do you have an east-west section?
Yes, if we go through the drawings now, we can
Yeah, please.
show you in more detail.
So should I advance?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark.
Do we need the floor plans here? Looks like that's interior.
It's all interior, here you go,
So
here are the facades,
that's existing facades.
Okay.
front and back.
Front, yeah. So that's the one on the left is the back facade. The one and then obviously the front facade, the two. One is through the stoop, so you can see the entrance to the basement door, and the one is showing from a little further out, showing the stoop and steps up to the facade, up to the first floor, the part of the floor. You can advance. So that's the
Existing section.
Yeah, the elevation through the east-west.
Right.
Right.
You can see there's an extension in the back of the house, so you're seeing that east-facing facade on that extension, that existing extension.
Right. This is a demolition plan, so these are areas that are going to be removed, right? This is the
Right.
only actual window on the
Right.
east facade of the L extension. Is that correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Yes. So those
Okay.
are, and then out at the top, you can see this little triangular thing. That's the existing stair bulkhead. It's one of the little narrow stair bulkheads up. That's what we're going to remove and create a more spacious stair bulkhead. And that line in the middle there, that's the neighbor's rooftop bulkhead, which height we were kind of matching. And so you get advance.
Show me that. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Could you show me that again? The neighbor's.
That's that
bulkhead?
line that he's outlining.
That's the
there.
neighbor's bulkhead.
Yes.
To the west.
Yeah.
To the-
And
Oh,
the
I
bulkhead,
see. Okay.
and the
It's not
bulkhead
even-
we
it's-
were talking
it's-
about will be the same height as that.
Yes.
Theirs is not a bulkhead. That's like a full penthouse.
Right. It's a penthouse. Yeah. That's a
Okay.
penthouse. Yeah.
And yours will be set back quite a bit more.
Ours is
we're-
in the
yeah.
middle of that. Yeah, we
Yeah.
have a drawing.
Great.
That's
So
the
again,
reverse
that's
view.
the demolition, again showing our existing stair bulkhead that we're going to remove, and the existing chimneys and everything on that that we're going to modify. And these are the proposed plans. And so, oops, go back Okay, go back to the top floor. Okay, so this is the bottom one is the roof level plan. You can see that's at the stair, comes up to the floor, and there's just a landing. The landing is limited in size by, to about 50 or 60 square feet. There's a door on both sides to get to, either side roof terrace. And on the left-hand side, that's we're showing what's the mechanical units up against the parapet wall on its own dunnage. And I think we're also showing we have a couple, exterior kitchen cabinets, stone, stone or whatever materials. And then the top plan is a roof plan. You can see the footprint of the roof bulkhead, which is.
So you're
Can
building
you
an outdoor
explain-
kitchen on the roof.
I'm confused. What are these kitchen cabinets?
Oh, they're not kitchens. They're just one's like a wet bar on one side, and then
On-
grill
On the roof.
On the roof?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
And you have a sink too on the other side, isn't there?
Yeah, we have a sink and then gas grill.
Right. The gas grill. Yeah, show us where the gas grill is going to be.
It's on the
On the
south
left.
side, on the south side of the.
And the
roof.
lower plan, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see it down
Right.
here.
Yeah.
Grill, ice.
And none of that's visible. It's all because we're actually lowering the roof elevation. The roof is sloped front to back, and we're actually lowering it in the front. So as we're dropping the roof down, we're building the parapets, like leveling off the parapets on either side, extending the chimneys up per code. And then those little kitchenettes, if you want to call them that, or wet bars, they're going to be, dropped down behind the parapets that are the shared party walls between the buildings.
So you're gonna have cabinets, a sink, and
Grill.
a grill.
Right.
Ice maker, looks like.
And again, nothing, you'll see in the 3D drawings that nothing's visible. It's all dropped down,
Okay.
actually.
That's fine. I just want to.
And then, okay, so you can see the roof, our bulkhead is 10'9" and 1/8 by 15'2" and 1/8 is the size of the bulkhead we're showing there. Okay.
Where are we
So
going?
to the next slide.
Okay.
So this is the elevation. Again, same format. The rear elevation. We're showing the bulkhead in a copper clad standing seam panel, and then with the steel.
Uncoated, Brett? I think it's uncoated, right?
Yeah.
So it'll oxidize, turn green over time.
Yeah. And then steel doors and side lights. Again, on the front facade, you can see just on a straight elevation how much of the this is the upper portion of the bulkhead is visible in a straight elevation. And then and then there's some.
And then here you can see the windows, the proposed windows in the front. No physical structural changes to the facade, just restoration work, and then the changes to the windows.
Is that a new railing in the rear on the roof?
Yes.
No.
So tell us about the changes to the windows, please.
Okay, so on the front facade, we're proposing to change our wood double hung windows into wood in-swing casements, and in all the existing same masonry openings.
With a true divided light.
How many? I missed that. How many windows?
So all the windows on the front facade,
2, 3, 4, 5,
except for
9, 10, 12.
12 plus there's 2 clear story windows, and then there's these 2. Are those windows, Brett, or are those just on the basement level? Or
those are
cold
windows
sheet-
that actually
those are windows,
open.
right.
They go
Oh, right.
to the cellar. Actually, they kind of have a little scoop down to the cellar. Yes.
And that's being changed to that's not going to be changed to wood in-swing casements, the cellar windows, are they?
No, that's just gonna be a wood fixed window to the same matching, but just gonna be a fixed window in the cellar. The basement level are in swing casement, and we're showing that, and
And
they're
they have
existing
decorative, those basement windows also have decorative iron security gates on them
that are remaining.
that are going to remain, correct?
But we are showing removing the security bars on the first floor windows.
Do we have a slide of the existing condition on the front facade?
Photographs, yes, that's we have a few sheets of photographs if you want to go to them.
Could we
Yeah,
do
because
this?
you can skip ahead.
Mark, I used to
Is
live on
it-
this block. This is one of the nicest, well-maintained brownstones on the block.
Got it, thanks.
Is it,
It's not maintained that well.
I used to live there 2 years ago. Okay.
Yeah. The family was in the house for, I think, almost 60 years. And the father passed away recently. I think he was in his 90s.
Yeah. All right. So again, you see the bulkhead. We're showing. We want to show the parapets leveled off, so we can you won't see the the roof work or the cabinets that we're showing. Again, what Joe mentioned, we're going to move. Have to build up the chimneys as per code because they're actually
They're functional, active chimneys.
Yeah. Okay, we can go to the next slide, I guess. This is the other side. Again, see on the right-hand side, we're showing that's where the mechanical units are. We're showing a louvered cover, a louvered fence around the mechanical units.
But the chimney, is that the existing one or you're adding to it?
We have to extend it up by code a certain height to allow for the ventilation.
So why aren't you showing that rendered?
We got this one.
And we were showing that we're going to calling that as a plaster, a white painted plaster.
We have a
not
rendering.
brick. Yeah.
We have a rendering. We have a 3D rendering.
Yeah.
So those chimneys are really gonna be seen from the street. They're gonna stick out like a sore thumb.
They're allowable obstructions as per the building and
We
zoning
can, and
regulations.
you can see what they look like, and we have from this street view actually.
Yeah.
Are they
because-
against the east side
They're
or
on
the
both
west?
sides. There's 2 on the west side and 1 on the east side.
Okay.
Again, we can skip to the renderings next page. That's again just the view of the proposed steel doors and side lights on the bulkhead. I can go ahead and we can go to these are just details of the doors and windows.
Are these the existing windows?
Those are the existing windows.
And is this on the front facade or where?
Front facade.
Well, the one on the left is the rear facade. The one on the right is the front facade. The first floor, parlor floor, with
Doesn't have divided lights.
No, I think that's the replacement windows. But this doesn't look like a double hung window to me. That's why I'm asking.
It is. It's it's an uneven, and it's actually the break, the meeting rail is actually at where the stone is. If you look at the detail to the right, it's actually it's a weird window. Actually, I've never seen anything like it before. But yeah, it's unevened, double hung. That yeah.
So where's the meeting rail? Is that this?
It's where it's behind the stone. If you look
behind the stone, yeah. See the section right here on the right, head sill detail.
Yeah, there.
So it's in here?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an uneven double hung
So
window.
this is all one window.
Where it's 2 panes.
It's 2 panes. offset.
Right.
2 sashes, yeah.
But and there's a, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I ever saw that before myself. So yeah, it took me a little bit to looking at to figure out what was going on there.
All right.
It's
So that's
just that,
existing.
it's just those 2 windows in the parlor level on the first floor.
But the section is very misleading because the actual window in the section shows as small, but there's a cut through it, right?
Yeah, there's a cut line. Yeah, to fit it on there, I
Oh,
showed
it's
a
much
cut line.
higher, yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to read these plans, I have to say.
Yeah. Are we continuing? Where are we
Yeah,
going?
we were just gonna. I think, and that's a question about the windows. We can skip to the renderings, which are
Well, I'm guessing, I
the
don't want to
photographs.
usurp the chair's function, but I'm guessing that one of the reasons why this is coming to a public hearing is these windows.
Correct. And the bulkhead.
Because you're not replacing them in kind. First of all, they're casements, and secondly, are you replacing? It looks like you have curved windows in that bay.
Right. Yes. They're curved.
Existing.
Yeah.
Are the replacement windows curved?
In that bay, yes, we're showing proposing
The windows,
curved.
actually, the windows are not, I don't think the windows are curved, right, Brett? They're flat windows in the curve. Are they curved?
They're
Can we
curved,
get to a
yeah.
rendering?
Yeah, sure.
New or the old?
You want to go ahead? Skip
Yeah.
ahead.
Always here.
Both.
Tell me where to go.
Keep going.
There. So
There are the photos. Here are the photos.
Okay.
Okay. So
What should I zoom in on?
Oh, I.
we can start. I guess the number 2. Yeah.
Right.
Which one? Why is
So
this moving?
that's the bay there. So
That's the bay window on the second floor, and they
Okay.
are curved, and we're
Yep.
gonna change them. We're gonna do curved casements instead of curved double hung.
So a general question on the windows. Are the casement windows that you are proposing to install, are they historically accurate?
Well, the building right next door, built at the same time, has original casement windows. You can see to
And
the west.
that's your frame of reference?
No, on the lower level. If you go to the lower level, on the first floor, the building right next door to the west.
Yeah.
And there are other examples up and down the block of casement windows in similar brownstones.
Do you have any record of the original windows on your building?
We have the 1940 tax photo.
And
These are all original. All the windows in our building are original. None of them are really functioning very well anymore.
So those are double hung 1/1 windows that are the original, yes?
yes.
so
We don't know. We don't know for certain what existed prior to 1940. We have the 1940 tax photo.
Which is
okay,
here.
the 1940 shows 1/1.
right.
You don't know, other than a frame of reference on the adjacent buildings, what the form of the original windows was.
Most of the windows are. We think they're original. They have the counterweights.
Yeah, the existing.
We can't prove for certain if they were replaced at a certain point.
Okay, so you think that the 1/1s are original?
Yeah.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so you're changing,
Right.
it's fair
Yes,
to say you're changing the original, or you think you're changing the original configuration of the window.
We'd like to. We'd like to go to a more traditional kind of casement,
Okay,
divided light window.
I just wanted to establish,
The client does. The client is
I just
actually
wanted to establish to the extent you can,
the
whether the proposed windows are in fact not the original configuration. And you believe that that's the case?
yes.
The proposed are different?
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. That's
Okay,
Okay, so if we go to the next page, I think it's just more photographs, more,
This is the existing condition still?
again, the existing conditions that we can go. And this is the back facade existing conditions. Again, more double hungs, 1/1s. And then there is this little, sorry, go back to, yeah, in the lower left and the lower, the left, upper left and the lower left, you see there's this little bay windows on the first and second floor. Actually, what we're proposing to do is kind of connect them and extend the window at the first floor down to make it a door, and extend up a transom above it, and connect the brick the bay to make it almost like one bay window.
Well, first of all, I'm sorry, are we talking about here and here?
No.
No, between the photo below that, number 23.
Okay,
That's the first
gonna
floor, and
that's
there's
the
a bay
first
above it
floor.
at the second floor.
Kitchen, and then there's a master bedroom above it. And we're gonna connect, there's gonna be a balcony off of here with a staircase to connect down to the garden level.
At the
off of
first floor.
kitchen,
Yeah. Yep.
At the first floor, down to the basement garden level. And then we're gonna connect, and you'll see we'll go back to the drawings.
Or we
You'll
can see
we're
in the
gonna
rendering. Yeah.
connect. Right. We're gonna, on the second floor, with the master bedroom, we're gonna convert that to a door, from a window to a door. It's about a 20-inch sill right now, I think. It's pretty low to the floor. But we want to drop it all the way to the floor with the little Juliet balcony. With the in-swing casement door.
so this is what you're calling a bay window.
Yeah.
It's
And
corbelling
this-
out, yeah.
Yeah, I noticed the corbelling here. It's harder to read here. Are you
Yeah.
preserving the corbelling?
We're extending it down because we're at the we're proposing a balcony at that level, and you see where that air conditioning opening is. That's basically the floor level in the first floor, and again, it's the same thing there. So there's gonna be a balcony at that level, and we're showing the brick, building out the brick all the way down to that balcony level. Taking out this the sill here for this window, and making that a door.
With a staircase
Corbelling-
down to the. back
To the
Garden
garden level.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Can you show us the drawings?
Yeah. We can.
Should I go forward?
Yeah,
have to go
we
back.
we should go to the forward and we see the renderings, then we can go back to the drawing if you want.
Yeah, Mark, you were going to say something? Sorry, or I interrupted.
I'm just trying to get a sense of what's going to happen with this decorative corbelling on the parlor and second floors.
We can.
So,
That's
but
gonna
maybe
be built out. That's gonna be, we're gonna rebuild the brick there, and the corbel is gonna be subsumed in the brick pier that we're building out down.
So the corbelling is going to go away.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the answer I was looking for.
Yeah, because we're adding a staircase, a balcony and a staircase access to the rear yard from the first floor.
Understood, but that might also be one of the reasons why this is going to public hearing.
Well, none of this is visible from the street. All of this is in the
We can-
interior courtyard of the building.
What
You'll find that that's going to be an interesting conversation with this group.
is that, what is that room where you're creating the door? Is that a living room?
The kitchen on the first floor. The ground floor is recreation, living room, family room. And then on the second floor, or technically
No.
first floor,
I'm asking about the first floor where you're taking out the window,
kitchen,
creating a door, and that's the
it's a kitchen,
So
it's
the
kitchen.
door is from the kitchen out
Yes.
correct,
to the staircase down to the garden.
correct.
Where should I go now? Should I advance?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Vance.
keep going, yeah, please, thank you. Wait,
Okay.
go back, if you can go back, you get an idea of the scale of on the upper right, number 24, you get an idea of the height of the parapet wall in the front, the street wall, and we're actually lowering the roof, so it'll be even taller.
And then in the middle, you see that is the neighbor's bulkhead, that we were
No.
matching that height, or penthouse.
Penthouse.
Okay, advance to the next. Okay, so this is photo montage of a proposed
Front facade
front
with the-
facade with the changed windows, both in and also it's very difficult to see the or it's not really visible, the proposed
The chimneys or the
Chimney.
bulkhead
Yeah,
don't appear to be visible from up and down the street.
you can see just the top of the chimney, and then the right there where his cursor is the extent of the
Michelle?
chimney.
Yes.
Is there any side-by-side picture of the old windows, the old facade, the new facade?
I don't think so.
And
Shall we keep going? Where are we going
Yeah,
next?
yeah. So that's
Are you proposing an orange or brick, or is that just a,
Oh, no, we're not
That's just
changing the
a-
brick at all. That's
okay,
just the
No,
rendering.
that's
the
just
printing.
different color. Yeah. Okay, so the rear facade. You can see the what we're showing. We're just talking about the proposed stair and balcony.
If you,
What
if
we
you zoom
call
in on number 2, you can get a better idea of rendering number 2. You can get a better idea of the stair and the bay window.
Oops. Yep.
There we
I
go.
see.
There we go. Good.
oh, wow.
Stop.
So
Okay. So the door is going to be what, a French door with the divided lights, or?
yes, yeah.
Correct.
And the doors and transom and that, and what I'm calling the bay, those are steel frame doors. The other
It's not
window,
really, sorry, Brett, it's not really a bay. We're just using the plane of the existing corbel
Right.
as the plane for that from the first floor to the second floor. We don't want to subtract. We want to use what's there and not demolish it. It's
Right.
not coplanar. Those two windows are not coplanar with the rest of the building. And rather than totally remove it, we want to use that existing corbel to infill.
yeah, and basically this sticks out.
And is that
So-
an
so-
accurate rendering of the masonry on the rear facade? It's going to be all,
It's all existing. We're just going to repoint it and clean it up.
okay. So it's all brick, like,
It's all
Yes,
brick.
yeah.
okay.
The rough.
And we're showing for the new openings, we showed that the demolition drawing, you saw the where we were proposing new openings, we're showing cast stone, headers or cast stone lintels.
to match existing.
Yes,
Those are new openings?
yes,
Yes,
Which
but
ones?
all the
are-
headers and lintels will match what's the existing stone that's there now.
Which
They'll
of
be
the
replaced.
openings- Can you tell me which of the openings are new?
All of them, basically, right?
Well, we were reconfiguring. It's like on the bottom floor, the basement level, there's 3 openings there. We're just making that one. We're taking out 2 intermediate piers on the back, and all the way to the back, to make that one opening. On the side of the rear yard extension, those are all new openings. As we pointed out earlier, there's one small window there that we're making 3 or 4 new openings on that facade. And then, as we were talking before, we're kind of connecting the openings at the first floor and the second floor to make that more continuous glazed opening
Okay.
at where the stair is.
All right. Am I moving forward? What am I doing?
And the openings that are showing to the, goodbye, to the right of the stair on the rear facade, those are new, those are existing, those are, reconfigured
Um,
further down the low, first and second floor? Or the, yeah, first and second. So you have the basement, first and second floor, right? Windows,
This will change.
not those to the right. Not those, keep going. Now, those three that are showing,
um,
are those existing openings?
which
They are, but on the back wall, on the,
Yeah, the back wall.
yes, all those openings are existing. We're on the lower level, we're removing the two intermediate piers because there's two side light windows and a door. And so we're just combining it
enlarging
all
that
into-
opening. Yeah.
enlarging it, not making it physically bigger in terms of width, but removing the intermediate piers. And then the windows above, we're just enlarging them. We're not changing the width, we're changing the height.
We're making them a little wider. Actually,
Right,
Okay,
slightly.
yeah. Okay.
yep.
What's next?
We go to the next page.
Good look at the rooftop renderings.
So that's the rooftop again, and then the upper one shows it from the southeast. You can see the lower left is the front facade. We're showing the mechanical units and the steel dunnage and bracing of the parapet. And then you can see the three chimneys that we're raising, and you can see our bulkhead, proposed bulkhead.
And this reads red, but that's the copper thing you were talking about?
Yes, it's
Okay.
copper.
Right.
But
But it
those chimneys, all three chimneys are new?
No,
Built
they're
up.
all existing chimneys, but they have to be extended because of ventilation requirements. Because we're creating a not a habitable, a
And
usable roof.
including the two on the west wall?
Yeah, they're existing. They're being brought up.
Are they the chimneys for your house or the?
Yes,
Yeah.
those are our house.
Those are our chimneys, correct?
So you have three chimneys.
The third one is the neighboring chimney, and we're required by code to bring it up and extend it up.
And that's, every time you do build on the roof, even if it's not your chimney, you're responsible for raising it if it per code.
When the neighbor built this thing, why didn't they raise the chimneys then?
They raised there's a sheet metal chimney for a boiler, and they didn't raise the chimneys for the existing fireplace. I don't know if because of the owners weren't using the fireplaces or what, but they did raise the active boiler flue.
I thought we had said-
I don't know why they raised them for the other chimneys.
It's a good question, why they didn't do it. They should have been required to do it.
All right, let's
I
keep
thought
going.
I thought in one of the previous renderings, those were going to be the same height, what you're proposing in the center and then your neighbors. And it doesn't look like it's the same height here. So is that piece between where the ladder is that, are you increasing the size of that wall as well?
The wall with the terracotta
right
coping?
there, right there between the two to
No.
the chimneys, that wall.
No, we're not touching their penthouse at all. We're just extending the chimneys up.
Okay, so then it's not the same height as the neighbor's penthouse. I thought it was. It looks like it's.
Well, it has to be a certain height above their roof as well.
Right, I understood, but I'm talking specifically, I thought where you have the copper, that was going to be the same height as your neighbor's penthouse.
The top of the wall is, I don't know if this is just the way the view is, the roof is lower, but it's supposed to be I don't know if it's just because of the different materials or the angle, it looks, may look not the same, but it is.
It's supposed to be correct, so it
Well,
will be the same height.
There's about a 4 foot, 3.5, there was a 4 foot gap between the two buildings.
Yes,
between
there's a
our
gap
penthouse.
there. So
Yeah, so you're not seeing, it's the perspective drawing,
Okay.
but it is the same height as their parapet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not,
You're right, Doug.
It's not
There's-
joined.
Are there any side-by-side existing versus proposed drawings
Yeah.
that we could look at
Of what?
of the roof, of all three areas, the front, the back, and then the roof?
I mean, not side by side. I mean, they're on different sheets. So yeah. Okay, we can go to the.
Can I ask a question about the chimneys? I'm a little confused. I'm sorry. So the two chimneys on the west are the neighbors' chimneys?
No, those
No,
are
they're
our
ours.
chimneys. Those are our active fireplaces and boiler flue.
Okay, and then the third
And
chimney,
ventilation.
their chimney.
That's the, no, that's, what's the street address? 31?
That would be 31. Yeah.
Yeah, 31. That's their chimney.
Okay,
That's
and
active. That's their boiler chimney that we have to extend up.
do they get any say on whether or not you work on their chimney?
We have to notify them and tell them that we're required by law to do it. If they want to do it themselves, we'll have to work something out with them. Ultimately, Landmarks will tell us if they want it in brick or maybe they want it in metal. That's the only one that's slightly visible from the street, where you just see the sort of tippy top of it. It could be offset back a little bit possibly, if we could also do it out of copper. I mean, that's a conversation that you guys can have. Or it could be something that Landmarks discusses.
Can you show the plans where the fireplaces are located, especially in the front?
The floor
Because I
plan?
assume those rooms in the front are bedrooms, right?
Can you go back to the floor plans?
What page is that?
Yeah, because that new chimney in the
Page
front,
11 and 12.
the new chimney in the front is going to be very obvious from the street.
No, you can't see that one from the street, from the.
Right now, you wouldn't
perspective.
see it.
We
but-
have very high parapet, no, but we have a very high street wall, very high parapet wall, and it sets
No,
back
but
about
that-
15.
That goes a lot higher from what I can tell.
Hmm.
So there's the lower floor plan, first floor. We have, how many fireplaces do we have in the house, Brett? We have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
3 in the
7,
front and
Yeah,
2 and 4 and 3, I think.
we have 7 total fireplaces plus the boiler flue in the front.
Are those bedrooms in the front?
On the first floor is a, on the
Dining
lower
room.
level on the basement is it's a maid's bedroom. And if you go down one, if you go back up one sheet to 200. You go one more sheet back, that is a maid's bedroom with an existing fireplace. And if you go back to 201, you'll see we have a dining room on the first floor, and then we have a library on the second floor. And if you go to the next sheet, 202. And now that's where we have a bedroom on the fourth floor, third floor, and no, and then on the third floor, we're removing a fireplace
Right.
and creating a master bathroom and wardrobe. And then we have an existing fireplace on the fourth floor.
What happened to the flue on the third floor?
It's built out behind the toilet there. Can you see it? We have the wall bumped out.
Doesn't look wide enough.
Yeah, I mean, I'll maybe
Is this relevant to what we have to consider?
I'm not sure. Where should we go now?
Go back to the street view so you can see the street wall, the renderings, back to 700 something.
hold on a second. Give me I can tell you.
So Peter can see the street view.
That's page 30.
So rendering number 3, you can't see the chimney.
Oh.
It's set back about how many feet, Brett, from the street wall?
Excuse me.
About 10 feet.
You can't even see the penthouse of the other house.
Okay, where are we going now?
We left off at 32. I guess we were at 32, and then 33 is just the roof level views, showing the bulkhead and the mechanical enclosure.
The mechanicals are behind a decorative type fence.
Yeah, a louvered fence. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Where am I going now?
I think that's all. I mean, the rest of the sheets are all the structural and mechanical. We can probably go to, again, to go next, page 39. You see these were the different openings we're making on the facade, the rear facade. And then I think and then just page 53. Again, just that's the roof level mechanicals that we talked about. And there's 3 units behind the parapet, and there's just a couple pieces of ductwork on the top of the bulkhead, goosenecks at the top of the.
Hey, Brett.
Yep.
The east chimney, did we make it that height just to match the other chimney on the west wall? Or we need to legally be at that height? Could that chimney be a little bit lower and then the chimneys would be different heights? I forget what we did there.
We made it the same height, but I can double check the calculation.
It could be a little.
Yeah.
Yeah. It might be able to make that other chimney a little lower. Yeah.
The chimneys on the west, they have to be 2 feet higher than that existing bulkhead or existing penthouse. Here, since that chimney on the east is further away, more than 10 feet, we probably can be a little lower. Yes. We just made that the same height, but since it is more than 10 feet from our proposed bulkhead, yes, it could be lower.
Okay.
I think that's unless you, that's all we could.
All right. So should I stop screen sharing for a minute? Would that be helpful?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Because I'm still trying to get, I'm sorry, chairs. I'm still trying to get my hands around what it is that we're being asked to opine on. It strikes me that one thing we're being asked to opine on is the substitution of casement windows with divided light that does not look like 1/1 windows on the front facade. And it looks like they're up and down the whole thing. They're all consistent with each other, but not with anything that's there now. It looks like there's fenestration in the back, both on the eastern face of the L extension and on the backward facing, or I guess it's north facing facade. There's elimination of some corbelling on existing windows, and it's not clear to me how much of that is going to be preserved. It looks like there's a little bit of area of window framing on the inset windows that's proud of the main facade, and that's being unified as if it were a pilaster and bringing the windows out to that plane. And then there's the stair landing bulkhead with some other accoutrement on the roof. Is that it in terms of what we're being asked to opine on, or is there more that we should be talking about and whatever?
No, that's pretty much it. Again, and yeah, the rooftop, the windows, and the front and back, and then just the rear alterations to the openings.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I don't want us to get lost in the weeds, but I think you've laid it out pretty well, Mark.
Yes.
Basically, those 3 sections: front facade, rear facade, and the roof work
Yeah.
changes.
So if I could ask a question, I know I've been asking a lot. The top floor of your proposed, let me go back to screen share for a second. On the rear facade, can you help me with where am I going to find? Well, maybe just scroll through and see if I can find it. Because I don't see what the windows look like next door. That's where I'm going. And lots of times with these applications, what we look for and what LPC looks for is right, here it is. It's all kind of blank. And so it looks like you're preserving the plane of what's next door.
Right.
But oftentimes the punched windows, I'm not sure if these punch windows are getting bigger. And how does that relate to the punched windows that I'm presuming are on either side, or maybe there aren't punched windows anymore on either side?
There aren't
We
any.
have, we have some photos from the rear yard that we can actually share with you. They weren't in the presentation, but
Let's see. Let me just double check.
It would help so much if we had some side-by-side pictures of the old and the new.
Yeah, that's really hard to follow here. Anyway, chairs, that's my best shot at trying to clarify that.
Right.
is there a way to share? Well, we have photos from the rear yard. We could, is there a way for us to share
Yeah,
them
can we
with
see?
you right now?
Yeah, can we see them?
Sure.
You should now be able to share.
Great. All right, so let's
Got it.
focus first on the rear yard since we're going there. And so we're not all over the
Well,
place. in our
actually, we
discussion.
do have photos in the presentation. Can we go back to the photos again from the rear yard? You might be able to see some of the existing buildings, the adjacent buildings in the presentation.
All right, where am I going?
To the photos.
28.
28.
That's
Uh,
all.
So
Putting on the top left, you're putting windows.
So there, you can see
on
the,
that facade.
right here in this photo, you can see the adjacent building. Our openings are actually bigger than their openings already.
and they did basically something similar to us, what we're proposing, or may have. They have the same kind of bay window or continuous open situation.
Corbelling, right.
Yeah, they have the corbelling. They maintain the corbelling below, but they have they don't have the same break between the first and second floor. It's more continuous between their first and second floors.
Are these two coplanar?
They don't look that way.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
It's weird because
Yes,
the
they are.
windows don't seem to line up.
No.
Well, they are.
That's
It looks
how
like
they do
different elevations, but they have the same. Their corbels and our corbels are the same planes, and our wall that's the corbel is built out from is in
Yeah,
the same plane.
Okay. So this window doesn't appear to line up with either this one or the one above it.
No. Well, this building next door went through was renovated, so I don't know.
Oh,
If they,
Yeah.
I don't
They
know if
stripped the whole facade off the front.
yep. Okay.
I don't know if
Yeah,
they
yeah,
changed
there
the
you
floor
go.
levels.
You can see how their corbelling sticks out. Yeah. And see how theirs is continuous, but ours isn't?
Mhm.
And that's what you're proposing to do, is to get rid of this and extend this line all the way down?
Yep.
Connect, correct.
And then are you going to have the corbelling at the bottom of that or no?
Well, that's where we're building a balcony to connect to a stair down to the garden.
Yeah,
If we
that's
need
the landing.
So there'd be no corbelling
No.
beneath the landing? Okay.
Corbelling goes
The
up.
landings be lower. The landings at the bottom of the of that
Air
AC unit.
conditioning, the
Yeah.
AC unit.
You show us the new design again? Please.
32, what was the number? 32, 33,
31.
31? Rendering 1 and 2 give you a better idea.
That's better. Too.
Okay.
I'm sorry again to be so dense here, but can you just say very clearly, the windows in, which of these windows are new? Or they're
All-
none of
They're
All,
all new.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
openings, which of these openings are new?
on the extension that sticks out into the rear yard, the windows on the on the facing east, next to the stair.
Right.
All those, right now, there's only one small opening in a powder room on the
Right.
first level, second
Yeah.
level. So that's gonna be on the first floor is a little, is it a library or a little den on the ground floor? And then on the second floor, you
I
have
mean, that's the
kitchenette,
basement
like a
level. On the first floor, it's the kitchen
breakfast
nook.
nook.
Yeah,
Breakfast nook. And on the third floor, you have a bathroom, which is an existing bathroom.
Can we
Yes,
get to a discussion?
Yeah, can we conclude it?
Are we done? Or should I get rid of the screen share?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. It's a lot of work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Any
Yeah, it's a
thoughts
big
about the
project.
rear facade? First of all, pluses, minuses, questions, objections, everything okay?
I think Landmarks is going to ask them about the corbelling.
I think, from what I know about our recent contact with Landmarks, I think they're going to be less interested in the rear at this point, and I don't think we should spend a lot of time on it. I mean, there's been a tendency to focus on the front and the roof, and I think that's where we should also focus our attention.
Fair enough. All right. So can we move on then at Peter's suggestion?
Yes.
Okay, great. What do you want to go now? The front or the
I
roof?
would go to the roof. I'm okay with most of what's going on in the front.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
There are different windows, but I think it's done in a relatively sympathetic way. My main concern is the fact that the building to the west has a very high bulkhead, and that gives the rationale for this building to also have a high bulkhead, but more crucially, it's the flues, it's the chimneys that upset me. The chimneys in the front, because you've got to see both of those from the street. There's no question. And right now, the chimney on the west side, the two chimneys are lower, and they have to make them higher. I understand that. But they're the distance or the depth of the chimneys in a north-south direction is quite great. They must be about 3 or 4 feet each. And the result is that on 74th Street, looking up, you suddenly got to see 2 chimneys that you don't see today.
Just the tops, Peter, right?
Yeah, just the tops, but you're still going to see them.
Small portion.
And I would urge that those 2 chimneys, and it could be done because I've done it in my own townhouse, they could slope more to the north and be less of a distraction from 74th Street. They have to do it. The code requires it. I understand it, but they could slope slightly and be embedded in that wall on the to the west wall of this building. That's the way I look at it right now. That's my complete criticism of what was presented.
Okay. Yeah, Mark.
So I have no objection to anything that Peter said. and I'm happy to subscribe to that. My concern with the front facade is the choice of these casement windows, which, as I see it, they are almost like French door pairs, and they don't emulate. We've seen people use tilt and turn windows that look like 1/1 double hung windows from the outside, but they have a very different operation. And we've approved that choice of a window. Here we're changing wholesale the window fabric. And it is divided light, but it's divided light with 2 sets of muntins in between. And so it reads very much like French doors, not like 1/1 double hung windows that are typical on the front of a townhouse. So unless there's more to be said about that, and also, as I understand it, the bay window currently has that curving glass that is rare and quite special. And that would be replaced, if I'm not mistaken, with 2 fairly narrow but flat planes that would kind of, I think, have a little bit of an articulation to them, but not emulate that curve. And so I'm concerned about that, about the appropriateness of making that switch on the windows.
What are alternatives to that, Mark, then?
Something replacing it in kind. They're 1/1 wood windows. Like I said, you know, if their proposal were tilt and turn windows that we've approved in the past that emulate the fabric feel of those windows, I might be persuaded. But here we're not doing anything like that. Here we're reinventing this facade. And unlike a lot of the things.
So your preference, Mark, would be to putting the operational issue aside to replace them with 1/1s.
Or something that looks like 1/1s.
Well, okay, but the configuration of a 1/1, whether or not it operates as a tilt and turn or
Preserving the curves.
So it's the design. It's going from 1/1, which appears to be the original configuration, to a totally new configuration, regardless of which one is more attractive or not. That's a subjective decision. So,
okay. Madge, you had a.
Yeah, couldn't we say something about preserving the curve? The windows that had that curve in it that were so attractive, they're still there and they're very good looking. So they might not be in good condition, but perhaps that vision could be replaced as it is.
Sounds good. Just so I understand, the rationale for the casement partly was that they match what is in the house to the west?
There are a few examples up and down the block where there are casement type windows. And your client is a European guy. He's from Germany and he prefers that style of window.
Likes his casements.
His in-swing casements. He lives in Berlin and has a home here. He has several homes here. He's got 2 homes in the Hamptons and he bought this townhouse last year.
Must be nice. Okay. I mean, we've run into people who've gotten rid of casements and, or over the years and thrown up double hungs, and
the curve could be preserved in the casement. The curve could be preserved in the casement as well. That can be done.
Yeah.
Would that make people feel better, or you want to?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
It's not only us, it's
nice.
what Landmarks is going to look at.
Well,
too.
yes.
Right.
You already have experience with Landmarks.
We work with Landmarks all the time. We're always flexible to their.
They'll have some thoughts.
Yep.
Okay. I think I got the gist of our conversation.
We're just presenting what our client would like, and we'll try to fight that battle. And if we can't fight it, we'll make the changes that we need to.
Okay. Fair enough.
So Peter, you don't have any qualms about what's going to go on the roof, the grill, the sink? the refrigeration.
Um,
It's all invisible
No.
and, you know,
Yeah, I
it's a
don't,
reasonable use of the space.
just,
Again, we're dropping it down a little bit,
I'm okay
actually,
with
you
that.
know.
Yeah,
yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I'm asking.
yeah,
You know, we
I don't
don't
have
have to use every square inch of space in this town.
Yeah,
I know.
that's okay.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Sounds nice. Okay, great. So where are we at? We want to make a note in our presentation. Landmarks will want to make a note about those windows.
Right.
Both the curve issue and possibly the,
Well,
raise
if I
some
may-
objection to the
I
to the
may-
casements.
propose some sort of summary.
Yeah.
Nobody's expressed an objection to the rear facade. So
Correct.
sounds like we're okay with that.
So where the material,
I
I was following the chair's suggestion that we not spend too much time on it. I have concerns about the elimination of that corbelling. Yeah, that's a significant feature and typical of those rear yards, and I'm loath to lose that. It sounds like you guys are moving toward a resolution to approve, and that's great. I just may not be able to support it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, all things being equal, it would be nice, but considering the overall changes in the rear facade with converting the window into a door and the staircase down to the garden and all of that, I don't find it inappropriate. So, you know, sometimes you can't get everything.
and even if you keep the corbelling, it's going to be hidden by the staircase,
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was my
I'm
thought.
okay
I
with
think.
it. I'm okay with it. It sounds like, and I defer to Peter on this in terms of the mechanical ability to perhaps, I don't know what that's involved, Peter, when you say slope those chimneys. Is that literally, you know, a vertical?
Yeah, you would, instead of the chimney going up vertically, you would slope a portion of it to the north. It couldn't be done at a right angle. It would have to be done like a
Dagger it?
45 degree or something.
So, so in other words, you go part way up vertical, when you get to a certain point, it just slopes
Yeah.
off to the north. I mean, it's,
We don't have very much. I mean, it's possible. There's we were showing. There's a little bit of gap between the existing chimney and the existing penthouse, the neighbor's penthouse. So we wanted to fill that gap. So there's room to move the flues back. It's a
Dagger them a little bit.
a foot or two. Yeah,
Right.
we can go a little bit. Yeah, we can slope them a little bit towards the north, but not very much. You know, not a huge amount. That's
Peter, even if we slope them, we would still have to have some kind of a copper extension or stainless steel extension to get to the height that we need. We could do, I agree with you, we could do a sloped kind of chimney sloping north, south to north, but we would still need a cap, something that comes up to that height requirement.
No, I understand that. And it's for that reason. I mean, most of what landmarks and what this committee and previous committees have been concerned about is what you see from the street.
yeah.
Now, 74th Street between Columbus and Central Park West is one of the most beautiful streets in the city of New York. You know, if you walk down that street, it's a very elegant street. The houses all tie in with each other. The cornice line is consistent. And this would suddenly be seen from, I happen to walk on that street a lot. I walk from towards an easterly direction. And as I look up, if I'm on the south side of the street, I would suddenly see the penetration of the new chimney, you know, beyond the top of the roof. So I think you should do what you can to move that chimney further north.
I don't object to that. I think, given what happens just in the building just to the east of that, I think the chimney is going to be the least obvious thing. I mean, I agree with you, Peter. It's a beautiful street, but the building to the east is pretty distracting.
Right.
But I'm talking about, this is to the west, the chimneys that, one of the chimneys is on the east, but another chimney is on the west.
Yep.
And that's where that big bulkhead is. So either way, I would move those chimneys so they're not so obvious from the street.
Yeah, let's put it in there.
Yeah.
Just to expedite things, I think we can all agree. I don't, obviously, no objection to making them less visible. So
Sure.
If it's physically possible to do it and comply with code, I would include that as a recommendation and note, and correct me if I'm wrong, that the architects feel they could make some effort to do that, to slope it somewhat and still comply, still have it be code compliant. So why don't we recommend they do it and note that that they will make an effort to comply with that.
Okay,
That sounds right.
Yeah.
great. Thank
Great.
you.
All right. So that's it for the roof, right?
Right.
And back to the front facade, what do we want to say about those windows? We want to preserve the curve, or do we want to make a recommendation of
I'm really
exploring?
sorry that they can't provide us with side-by-side photos of the existing and the proposed. That would be so simple and helpful to us.
Yeah. Well, I think they'll match. It's the contrast is significant, so that even without a side by side, the issue becomes: do we want to condition any approval or disapprove the change from a double hung configuration to this new multi-pane configuration? I mean, I get a little torn because it seemed, and that's why I questioned it earlier, that that it appears without definite evidence that 1/1 was the original configuration. Normally, we like to preserve that. On the other hand, the multi-pane proposal, it's just my subjective opinion, is probably more attractive. So I'm a little bit torn on where I come down on the.
I usually love casement windows and stand up for them and have stood up for them. But I think without, that there is something to the original here that is not in the new ones.
Well, that's why I say I'm.
So can we include that in our resolution? Just say something about, if possible,
You could make a recommendation.
Yeah.
I thought Jay was,
Can I just
Jay was
add something
suggesting,
here?
Go ahead.
I mean, I know you guys suggested the tilt and turn that could in some way simulate the 1/1, but honestly, in my opinion, I think the casement window is a little bit more historically sensitive to, these types of buildings than that more modern tilt and turn type of window, because it becomes when you turn it, it's a very big and bulky window that like swings into a space. Whereas the casements are, they kind of work with the existing, all these windows, by the way, they all have the built-in shutters on the interior. So these kind of casement windows, if they swung in, can be integrated into that interior shutter system that's existing to these buildings.
Yeah, well, that's my opinion. I don't know how, depending on how it's worded or.
Sir, can I just ask, you just said they're going to turn in? The casements are going to go in?
They're in-swing casements, correct. And they're not outswing, they're in-swing French casements. And again, all these windows, it's a deep wall condition. All the existing windows have these, they don't really work very well, but they have those old interior shutter systems that are concealed. So we actually could, I don't know if we're actually going to keep that, but we could actually integrate this. The front door of this house is really interesting too, because it's the same thing in the vestibule where the doors, they're integrated into the, there's like secret closets on the interior of the vestibule of this house, kind of like the way those shutters work. So that's why I kind of feel the casement, in-swing casements are a little bit more historically sensitive to this building versus a big single in-swing tilt and turn. Even though we could emulate the 1/1, it becomes a engineering oddity where if you want to open the, if you want to swing, you're only going to tilt it. You're never going to swing it in because it's going to swing into the space. It's going to be kind of awkward.
Yeah.
I do think the casements would probably fit, would look pretty nice, given the rest of the facade. It's a fairly ornate facade.
Especially
I could go either way. What's that?
The in-swing makes a big difference. I didn't realize they were in-swing.
Yeah.
So you're okay with the in-swing?
Yeah.
Those, Madge.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
so-
I truthfully, I would be tending toward approving the proposed casement, in-swing casements, even though they're not replicating the original. But I kind of agree with Kay. I think they would look, frankly, look good.
Can't we make a note in the resolution that something about our first preference is to repeat what's there now, and secondly, this is.
We can certainly do that.
Yeah.
I think that would kind of sum up our.
That would take us all off the hook.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
All right,
So
we're
take
nearing
those
8
to
o'clock.
make the decision.
We're nearing 8 o'clock. We're still on the first project here.
Complicated one.
I note.
So our resolution would approve the application with the couple of suggestions we made,
Recommendations. Yeah.
recommendations. In particular, the front windows. Although we like what the proposal is, we hope that they consider emulating the quote-unquote original only to the extent of the 1946 photo. We have we approve all the changes to the rear yard. And Mark, do you want to say something about the corbelling?
I'm probably going to vote against this resolution, so I probably shouldn't have too heavy a hand in phrasing it. How you guys, those who are in favor of this, should probably take the lead on that. My concern with the rear facade mostly is the loss of the corbelling. I find the proportions of the windows on the rear facade to be appropriate, and I find. And I actually find the use of casements in the rear facade to be, per our earlier discussion, minimally appropriate or acceptable. But because of the loss of corbelling, and I don't want you to have to take 3 different votes on this blessed thing, I'll just sort of satisfy myself with a no vote and let the majority go forward.
You won't be alone, Mark. I'm going to go with you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Mark, I tend to agree with your comment on the front windows as well.
I'm also
corbelling in the rear.
I'm a little bit frustrated that that there was. It's an interesting presentation. I applaud the effort that goes into this, but I'm frustrated, as I think Madge is, by the lack of side-by-side comparisons, and particularly for the rear work. I'm frustrated with a capital F over the fact that there's no indication of what the window lines are in the back to see how it lines up. I find that very aggravating.
Well, Susan, to that point, and I'm sorry to jump in, but it was actually reassuring to me to find out that the window pattern on the building next door was actually out of sync with this one as a current condition. So therefore, changing it didn't strike me as being as intrusive or problematic as it might have been otherwise.
I appreciate that. I'm just saying I would have appreciated being able to just see it easily, see like what was going on there.
Couldn't agree more. I was studying this afternoon and couldn't make heads or tails of it.
Anyway, Michelle, the proposed resolution is to approve the rear facade.
Right.
And we'll let the naysayer.
Yeah. And with respect to the bulkhead, the applicant agrees to consider our recommendation to make a slight slope to the chimney to keep it in compliance
Yeah.
with whatever the
Yeah.
buildings need,
On the
OB
chimney.
needs, but to
Okay.
consider a slight slope to those chimneys on the west side.
No, on the,
What
both
direction?
of them.
Yeah.
The two
west-
chimneys on the south
South.
area, yeah.
Yeah, the two on the south.
Oh, next to the penthouse. All right. So
Wait
shall
a minute,
we?
the
Or-
two chimneys we're concerned with are on the west side.
No,
And
No.
It's the one on the east.
there's
and
the one,
on
the one close, the one's closest to the front.
Oh, east,
Peter-
yeah, of course, yeah.
Whoa, whoa.
East and west.
East
East and
west.
west, front, closer to the
I
front.
gotta get this down.
Yeah,
They can both be in the same alignment.
It's the two west chimneys, which Peter is recommending be sloped towards the north.
No,
the one on the east
the one on
and
the
one of
east,
the two on the west side. The
Just one?
One on the
Yep.
west side that is closer to the front of the building.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were recommending,
The two
Me too.
chimneys at the front, both of them should slope more to the north.
okay,
Peter's concern is protecting the streetscape.
Yes,
right, so the two chimneys closest to the front,
Correct.
the
on the east
recommendation
and
is
one
to
on the
slope them towards the north.
Great.
Okay, so Kay, you want to take the vote on this? I'll just write down.
Yeah, does everybody understand like okay. All right, so I'll just go across my screen. Mark, you're a no?
I'm a no, thanks very much.
Okay. Madge?
Yes,
Okay. Michelle?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Susan?
Jane,
Abstain?
abstain.
Abstain. Okay. Jay?
Yes,
Peter?
yes,
All right, and Doug?
No, as I don't think the proposed windows on the front facade are appropriate, nor the removal of the corbelling in the rear.
Okay. All right, so for the committee, that's, what do we got? 1, 2, 3.
2,
You
3.
didn't vote yourself, Kay, did you?
Oh, I'm a yes. Yeah, sorry about that. Thank you.
see that. So
So
what's
that's
the
1,
total?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in favor. 1 abstain and 6 in favor, 2 nays, 2 and 1 abstention.
So 6 to 2 to 1 to 0.
Correct. And
6
then
to
for
2 to 1
Doug,
to 0.
I'm
Doug
gonna,
Kleiman?
on the non-committee, I'm going to abstain.
Okay. So
So
non-committee, that's
0,
0, 0, 1, 0.
1, 0.
0, 0, 1, 0.
Okay. Thank you all for, for a thoughtful discussion and a long one. And thank you, Joseph and
Thank
Brett.
you.
Thanks, guys. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Be
And
safe.
are you
Welcome.
calendared, did you say?
Yes, for the 9th,
Yeah, March 9th.
February 9th?
March
No,
9th.
March 9th.
March,
March
thank
9th.
you.
Every night is 2 days
Oh,
away.
already passed.
Yeah,
Back to the future.
I was gonna say, I missed something the other day then. Mark. Oh, I missed that.
have a good night. Thank you very much.
All right,
All right,
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. All right, bye.
Okay, March
Okay,
9th.
next we have 45 West 85th Street.
Is that what Naomi Avigdor is here for?
I believe so. If she's still with
Yes.
us.
Hi, I'm here.
Are you here for 45 West 85th?
Yes, I don't see myself, but I'm here.
Okay, so
Okay.
I'm going to
Sorry,
promote you to
I
panelist and you should be able to
apologize.
be seen and heard.
My wife just walked in and told me she heard me doing a lot of talking. And I said, the reason I'm doing so much talking is I got stuck taking the minutes.
Oh, tell her we say thank you.
Minute taker's privilege.
We
Right.
usually don't
So-
talk.
Can I get the name of this next applicant, please?
Naomi Avigdor.
And it's 45 West 85th.
Yes,
45. Oh, there we go, good.
All right, so please,
45
please
West
go for it.
85.
Oh, you're going to share the screen. Great. By all means, go right
If
ahead.
you want
Thank
me
you.
to, I mean, it's
I
the
am
same.
delighted for you to do that.
Okay,
And I think your application is going to be easier to understand than the last one.
yeah,
Yes,
it's
much
very
less
easy.
complicated.
Just so that
Yes.
all we're doing is replacing that stained glass window.
Yes, I would like to replace one stained glass window and all the picture. This is the block with this one is the arrow pointing to the building, and the two stars are buildings on 86th Street. And I went to 86th Street to take pictures of the back of the buildings, so you see what's happening in the back, and you can compare of this building to the other buildings.
Beautiful.
So this is the facade and the window that I want to replace. The right picture is the east facade, and the left picture is the east and the two north facades.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
And this is the specific window.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and you're gonna do something else with this stained glass, right?
Yes. So what I want to do, the problem is that this window is in the bathroom.
Yeah, in the shower stall.
In the shower, and I'll show you a picture in a few minutes, like when we get there. So I need ventilation in the bathroom because it's humidity and it's terrible actually. So what I propose is a window. It's a double hung window where the top pane is aluminum sheet, and I will put a vent into it. And I have another window that I did the same thing in the basement for the fresh air for the basement. So I'll show you the picture, when we go forward.
Great.
But the left picture basically shows what I want to do, and this is how it will look from the outside. And this is the floor plan of what happens on that floor. The red star is where the window is. Okay.
Yep.
And again, this is another picture of the window from a different angle, from a different position.
Okay.
Oops, sorry. And this is the condition of the window. So on the left side, you see that the steel is completely disintegrated. And on the right side,
That's the sealant.
The sill.
steel.
The window
Sill.
sill.
S-I-L-L, right?
Yep.
The steel is
Oh, sill, I'm
disintegrated.
sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
It's my accent, it's okay. And
No,
then
ears.
Sounds great.
on the right side, it's not a very good picture because I have to take the picture in a 45-degree angle, but I don't have access right across it. So you can see how the wood is deteriorating. It's 100 years old, I assume. And this, on the right side, you see a similar window, different size, and you see how the vent goes into the top panel. I mean, the louver goes into the top panel.
This is the same building?
The same building in the basement. This is
Got
the
it.
fresh air for the basement, for the
Got it.
boiler room.
Got it.
Got it.
So, and then the left picture just shows the louver before it went into the window.
And that's on the floor.
Yeah, it's just sitting on the floor
Yeah, I understand.
for demo.
Nice.
So it will look like this, like the window on the right.
Of course.
And I can paint it any color that you want me to do. This is the manufacturer of the window gave me a drawing of how the schematics look like. So obviously they show two glass panes, but this is like a special order. The top is not glass.
Right.
So you can't open the window from the bottom? In your configuration?
No,
will
I
you be able to
cannot.
open the bottom pane?
I mean, no, I cannot open it.
Okay.
But if it's behind a brick wall, you won't be able to open it anyway, will you?
No, I cannot open it. There's no
Okay.
exit.
Okay.
And then, so I'm sorry, go ahead.
Window visible from?
From the back.
Just from the back.
Only from the back. There's no access from the front whatsoever. Not from 86th Street and not from 85th Street. From nowhere. You can't see the window except the neighbors can see it from their window.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, because it doesn't even face north. It faces to the
East.
right?
East
Yes.
to the courtyard,
Yes.
yeah.
I mean, it's a lovely window, but
It's beautiful,
very
yeah.
limited
Beautiful window.
number of people who would be able to see it.
so
Right.
what's gonna happen to this window?
Well, what I really, but I'll show you in a minute, okay? Can I just show you
Yeah, I'm
something else?
sorry.
Okay.
Sure.
So these are the pictures that I took from 10 West 86 and 20 West 86. Unfortunately, I didn't write down all the addresses of each window, which building it's on, but you'll see the condition of the windows in the back of my neighbors, basically. Okay, so this, I know that these buildings are 41 and 43 because I see them from my building. But the rest of them, I don't know which building it is, but it's right next to me, okay? So you see how people made windows bigger, narrower,
Right.
like
Yeah,
weird.
oh, I see.
They put holes in air-conditioned holes. They blocked window. You see how this one is completely blocked,
Mhm.
bricked in. And this one is another stained glass window. So there are, I think I saw 3 stained glass windows, except besides mine. So basically I'm showing you what happens in, there are no stained glass windows. There's 3 windows out of probably at least 100 windows that are on that facade on the back of 85th Street in that block, at least 100 windows, and I saw 3 stained glass windows.
So, are you the owner or architect or what?
I'm the owner.
You're the owner. Wonderful.
Again, this is the same picture, the map that shows where I took the pictures and where is the building.
Right.
And this picture shows the bathroom. So the window is behind the shower tile wall. So from the inside, you don't see the window. And you asked me what I'm going to do with the window. So if I had the money, I would put the stained glass window on this instead of this window, so that I can see it. And I don't care if the neighbors see it, but I can see it.
Mhm.
And put whatever ventilation behind the tile wall.
Mhm.
Put just a double hung window behind the tile wall with the ventilation. And there was another picture, I forgot. No, that's it. That's the last picture. So there are other solutions to this for the ventilation, which just make a hole through the brick and put a vent. But I mean, I think it's more painful to break the brick than to change the window, to me, like in beauty wise or conservation wise. I mean, I would feel bad breaking the window, I mean the wall, the brick. But if you don't let me, I will have to do it.
Well, we have a stained glass expert on this panel, Jay. You had a lot to say about stained glass in the past. But you could use the stained glass, you could frame it and put a little light in it and then hang it up and it'll be great.
Yeah, I can do it.
That-
For decoration, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you could put a light in it in the frame or not.
yeah. The problem is that it costs $4,000 to replace this window. I received the name of a person that fixes these windows from the landmark from LPC.
Mhm.
And I showed him the pictures and I showed him what's going on. And he said, it's about $4,000 to fix this window. It's not possible. I mean, I cannot afford $4,000 for one window in a bathroom.
Yeah.
Right. Understood. Okay.
So that's it.
Questions?
So basically, I need your permission to remove this stained glass window and replace it with something else.
Questions? Anybody
that-
else?
Yeah, is it a rental unit or do you live there?
No, I live in the floor below.
So it's a rental unit?
It's a rental unit. And if you want to see exactly what's going on there, it's actually, I want to show you the floor plan. So this is the unit. And it's the extension is the entire unit. It's a living space and a bathroom. That's all there is in this rental unit. In this apartment, there was a lady that was there for 45 years, and she died last
I
year.
have a question.
Oh.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Yes.
Why couldn't you move the stained glass window to another window in the apartment?
I don't have any other windows that needs replacement. I mean, because in order to move it, I need to fix the window. So to fix the window is $4,000. To fix the stained glass window is $4,000.
If that stained glass is 100 years old, then it's all leaded,
Yes.
and it might even cost more because of that.
Okay. I don't know. He told me
They said 4. Okay, even
he
then.
said so, but I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
Kay and Michelle, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yes, Mark.
I'm still a little unclear. So will the window be salvaged or just tossed?
No, I'll put it in the basement and wait for the money.
So you would make it available to somebody who wanted to make use of it?
Yes, I would. Yes, I would definitely do it.
If they would, you know, pay what it costs to make it operable?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Isn't there also that place in St. Louis? So what, you know, if you could remember the Children's Museum,
yeah.
the organization that buys the museum in St. Louis, is that where it was? St. Louis?
I think
Yes,
it was St. Louis.
it was St. Louis. Was St. Louis or was it Kansas City?
Something.
Well, I mean,
The same
actually,
thing.
I want to take my words back. I mean, I'm not sure that I want to give it away, because if I one day decided I want to use it, maybe my kids want to use it. So I don't want to commit to giving it to somebody else.
Right. Of course.
Got it.
Sure.
So-
With
Maybe, but I don't want to commit.
Of course. All right, and that's beyond our scope, I
Right.
suppose.
That's our business.
Yeah, maybe so. Okay. Other ideas, thoughts, feelings, inclinations?
Yeah,
Are we okay?
Mhm.
All right. So I sense we'll do a resolution to approve, and
And if somebody asks us from the board, what's going to happen with the window, we'll tell them that the tenant's going to keep the stained glass.
Be retained for use at another time.
Yeah.
If appropriate.
Can the resolution reflect that we request
Yeah.
but don't require that they preserve it for future use if possible? Something like that?
yeah, Doug?
Doug Kleiman, you going to say something?
As a non-committee member, I am sensitive to the number of times that this applicant has spoken about a financial hardship. My understanding is that is not the purview. This is not something that we're supposed to be taking into consideration, but I understand very, very well. And I do also understand that this window is minimally visible, but it is beautiful. And I am actually heartbroken that it's going to be removed and replaced, quite frankly, with an ugly louver.
Really old.
And if the understanding is that you are removing this for ventilation in the bathroom to protect or prevent mold and mildew, which of course is a code requirement in bathrooms anyway, why can't this be a vertical louver to the roof, that's not visible, and keep the window there, unless it's dangerous and it's falling apart, if that's your point. But there's got to be other ways to mitigate condensation and humidity in a bathroom other than taking out a beautiful stained glass window.
So as far as I know, because there is another window that can be opened, a mechanical vent is not required. So, I mean, if you have steam in the bathroom, just open the window, steam will go out, theoretically. But it really doesn't work because there's mold on the ceiling. Every few months, we have to take care of it.
This is the top this is the top floor of the building. So the vertical run to creating a vent that would be minimally visible is not a very long run, correct?
No, it's not a long run, and I would not want to make a hole in the roof. That would be, I mean, I would rather do a hole in the wall on the east facade, or which is the same direction as the floor joist above, or the ceiling joist. So I would go through those joists into the brick and have an opening in the brick, and there is one on the floor below. If you want to see on another
Yeah,
picture,
I saw that on the plan.
which is a vent in the kitchen, which is actually my kitchen.
And by the way, one other thing that you mentioned, which again, respectfully, I have to differ, from your opinion, is that you were referring to the louver downstairs in the boiler room. Fresh air intake in a boiler room is a very different situation than just mitigating humidity or condensation in a bathroom. That's a very different.
No,
use.
okay, that is true. But in this case of the bathroom, I've just showed it to you to show you how it will look like. But in this bathroom, there will be a mechanical ventilation behind it, pushing the air out. In the boiler room, it's not pushing the air, it's just, just to pass through. But in a bathroom, I need a mechanical vent, like in every bathroom, like a similar vent, like a regular vent in a bathroom, but it ducts out through that louver.
All right, I understand. Okay, well, thank you. I just, you understanding sort of how I feel about it, but I appreciate you responding. Thank you.
Mark.
Thanks. I'm sorry if I missed this. Do we have reason to believe that this window is original to the building? It seems odd that it's the only one in that one obscure place.
Are you asking me?
I'm asking anybody who would know.
I have no idea.
Okay.
But there are no.
To answer part of Doug's inquiry, because I understand your point about the cost not being an issue. Here, one of the things that persuades me that it might be permissible to remove this is that it's behind a wall anyway, and the beauty of a stained glass window is the interior illumination, which makes it visible from the outside. And the outside, of course, is our purview, not the inside. And so this wouldn't really read as a stained glass window from any place on the ground floor. And so while I also lament the loss of this beautiful window, I think if somebody could come along and use it in a more visible place, that would be a net win, and would not be inappropriate to allow it to be used in that way. I do think that we put into our resolution a call for this to be preserved in as good a condition as we can, so to allow for that future use, and to record the applicant's willingness to let it be used for that purpose. But here to preserve the stained glass in place in this manner, I don't think it gets the historical fabric that we want it. We would all like it to be. And looking at the floor plan of that apartment, I don't know that there's any alternative that would be viable. So that, for my 2 cents worth, I think you're right that we shouldn't talk about cost per se, but rather the aesthetics of it as it is currently configured.
Thank you, Mark. Susan.
Yeah, I'm a little confused why you wouldn't just put a regular window in there. Why you would want to put this unusual type of window in there? Maybe I missed something.
I think it's because they need the bathroom. The bathroom needs a vent.
But I understood that there's another window that provides the ventilation. No?
No, it's not mechanical. It's just free flow. Even in the window, you cannot open a window when you take a shower. So,
yeah.
What I said, by code, it's not required because there is a window in the bathroom that can be opened. But practically, it's very required.
Okay. Good enough. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Okay.
Natalie is there.
I'm sorry to prolong this, but just one quick question again about the other window. Since you're putting in a window with a vent, you can't replace the other window with a window with a vent?
You need the
That would be awful. That would be awful because
Then
that's
you lose the light.
Beg your pardon?
that's a visible window from the inside. So you don't want to see in the bathroom ducts going into a window.
Yeah, I agree with
Correct,
that.
understood.
Okay.
Okay, are we ready to move ahead? Okay, so I'm hearing a resolution to approve with a strong recommendation that the beautiful window be stored for to be preserved and possibly used later.
Yeah, and if you want to give it to a museum or whatever, you can contact the community board. We have resources, places like that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, does that sum up what where we're heading?
Mhm.
Okay. All right, once again, we'll go through. Mark?
Aye.
Madge?
Aye.
Michelle?
Aye.
Josh?
Approve.
Susan?
Jay, I don't want to upset you, but I'm going to approve this.
Oh, bless your heart.
You're the best.
Peter? Yes,
No.
okay. All right, Doug?
Approve with the recommendation to preserve, yes.
All right, and Jay?
I'm going to do something which I hate to do. I'm going to abstain, but I promise I'll make up my mind by the full board meeting.
Okay.
I look forward to that.
And you, Kay?
I approve.
Jay, are you just doing that so you don't agree with me?
Beg your pardon?
Are you just doing that so you won't agree with me?
So it's 8-0 to 1-0 committee members, non-committee members. Doug?
That's Doug?
I'm going to abstain as well, and with the same promise that Jay made.
Okay. So that's 0-0-1-0 non-committee members. Thank you. Thank
Okay,
you,
and
Ms. Abigail.
do you have a date with the Landmarks Commission?
Yeah, they're waiting for you actually. So I need to tell them when you will finalize it.
Okay, well, our full board meets on the 2nd, right, of March. So it has to be after the 2nd,
Please.
Yes.
anytime at your convenience and theirs.
Okay.
All right,
you.
thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
very
and
much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very
for
much. I
waiting.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, take care, good luck.
Thank you.
Now we have 304 West 89th Street. Are they here? Is there anybody else
I
here?
don't
Mark?
see anybody in the attendees.
Hmm.
And I'm going to check my email just to make sure nobody was, saying, hey, how do I get in the meeting? So give me a second to do that,
Right.
because people sometimes do that.
Michelle, what was the?
Is it okay if I'm leaving?
Oh, yes, of
Yes,
course.
sorry,
Naomi.
thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
The
Thank you.
vote on that?
What is this application for?
Oh, this is for
Window replacement.
window replacement / master plan.
Oh,
I have a question.
Yes.
Just because I would like to be educated here. Why does the person who has the window in this case just not do it?
why can't they just do it?
Yeah.
Well, it's just that it's probably, and Mark, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, it's probably a special window. And there's a category in the landmarks rule.
I understand that. What I mean
About-
is, what's to stop that? I should have rephrased. Let me rephrase that. What's to stop them from just doing it?
Well, they could do it and then become a violation.
Yeah.
What's the violation for something like that? What could be the violation?
You mean what?
Depends on who complains.
But
Right,
you're
that's what I
right.
mean.
They could do
So
it.
a violation
and then
would
come
be,
back to us and say, oh, because we've had applications like that. They came to us and said, we did this, and now we need your approval.
Yeah.
To
I mean,
legalize.
the practical effect of having an existing violation on the building is if there's ever a sale of the building,
Mhm.
we do a search for violations.
Okay.
And what usually happens is the buyer of the building really has a choice. They can take title subject to the violation.
Understood,
or
okay.
They can require that it be corrected.
So are the
But
other
it could sit there, with a violation on it for
That,
ad
yeah.
infinitum
But there's another thing, Jay,
until
which,
there's a transaction.
if I may, there's another thing, which is that all permits that you need to go through for DOB have to first get a letter of no effect, even if you're
Right,
not.
that
So
also.
they wouldn't be able to, there's a good chance that they wouldn't be able to get any other permits unless they
Yes,
correct.
But that's
And
only
they
if
also wouldn't be
somebody,
able to refinance
Somebody
their mortgage.
complains.
only if somebody
The
complains.
mortgage,
Basically, any kind of future transaction would likely reveal the violation, then it becomes an issue.
It's interesting.
But of course, in my building, which is 20 floors, we've had a number of violations with LPC that have gone back at least over 10 years, and we're proceeding to do lots of renovations and get lots of DOB permits, and it doesn't seem to be a problem at all.
Right.
Susan, same with mine.
Really?
I can tell you another time some terrible stories in our neighborhood that have
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I had a second
personal
question.
retailers, yeah.
I had a second question.
Yes, Josh.
So when we're talking about the first one and the bulkhead
Yeah.
and the height of the bulkhead, if it's not visible from the street and it's the same height as one that is adjacent to it, what difference does it make? Because Peter, you seem to have issue with the height of it initially.
well, Peter actually had Peter.
I'm just curious as to why. I want to learn,
The
like,
height of the chimneys, not the.
Look, I thought the bulkhead
No,
as well.
So
He
Josh,
did ask about the
I was
bulkhead.
interested,
Chimney.
I was
What's the
interested
bulkhead?
because sometimes when they make the rendering of the visibility from the street, it's not actually accurate.
Right, I
Yeah.
understood that, but what I'm saying
Great
is,
question, Doug.
Yeah.
but I understood that, but what I mean is, if you can't be seen from the street, what's the difference?
Well, if it can't be seen from the street, we often will, but I believe that at least one of those chimneys had some
No,
visibility. Now,
not
I was
the
there
chimney. I'm
today.
not talking about the
No, the
And how you would
bulkhead.
see it,
The
I don't know,
bulkhead.
but
Let Peter answer that.
The answer is.
These chimneys you could see very easily
No,
from
not the
street.
chimney.
I know, not the
Why I
chimneys.
objected.
I know, but I thought,
Oh,
maybe I
Josh,
misunderstood. I thought
the
initially you had mentioned the
answer
bulkhead.
is the
Ah.
the standard for even public review is visibility from a public way.
Right,
And I'm assuming the implication of your question is that if it's not visible, and sometimes it's approved at staff level.
Mhm.
In this case, there were several other issues.
right, I got that. I'm just trying to learn about this
No,
stuff.
very
so
good
that's why.
question.
So could I offer a thought on that? My thought would be that I am among those who think that even if it's not visible from the public way, it still should comport with the character of the historic district. And so, to take a trivial example, a stair bulkhead that was 30 feet tall, if it probably would violate zoning, but if it didn't, it still would be out of proportion with what a townhouse should look like. And so we are the stopgap, or we're the backstop against making sure that that doesn't happen, in addition to whatever zoning says and whatever the building
Okay.
code says.
All right, well, that makes sense to me.
And of course, we deal with a lot of rear facades, which are not generally visible from a public way, but are visible to neighbors. and so
Right.
forth.
Now, there are a lot of rear facade renovations and even rooftop renovations that we never see, so we don't know they exist because
Right.
they're approved at staff level.
Understood. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and the
Yep.
other thing, Josh, is we've given kind of more value over the last several years to what Mark said, and also, even though it's not official and it's not in the rules, we've considered informally visibility from the other buildings facing the donut.
Understood.
And so we sometimes give consideration.
No, that makes
even
total
though
sense.
Technically, it's
Very
But
interesting.
one of my
not
pet
really
peeves,
an issue.
one of my pet peeves in the past has been something they mentioned this evening, which is it's minimally visible, because to me, not to me, but it's a binary situation. It's either visible or it's not visible.
I agree with that.
Yeah, but,
I-
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So, in this situation, the chimneys, to Peter's point, that chimney was going to be visible. You're either dead or you're not dead.
Well,
That's right.
Well,
That's
that
a little bit
brings
pregnant.
us
I think
to the
I think
next
it bordered
subject.
on-
Actually, we have to
But
take
that
a
works
vote
too.
on 304 West 89. to disapprove without prejudice, okay? Because they didn't appear.
Noted.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah.
a disapproval without prejudice.
Actually, Michelle, can we just phrase it as disapproval for failure to appear? And then if they come back, it would be without prejudice, but I don't want to put that without prejudice word in there because
It
that,
does.
I think that invites LPC to go ahead without us.
The
Oh,
other
okay,
thing-
no, I don't
the
want
other
that to
thing
happen.
is, Michelle, maybe
Okay.
before the
So
next,
we finished?
No,
before the next full board meeting, maybe you could check, because sometimes what happens is the applications are calendared to come before the board.
Hmm.
And it ends up that LPC changes its mind. And so maybe we should have somebody contact the applicant and make sure that that's not what happened.
okay, we should do that right
Maybe
away.
the office can do it.
But you should take your vote anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so my recommendation is the disapproval because the applicant did not appear. So we all agree with that? We
Aye.
have a uni-
Yes.
Okay,
Agreed, okay.
Agreed.
all right. Now, one last thing before we part for the evening, even though Madge is on the phone, we kind of, and I'm with her on this, when we write our resolutions, we say that things are minimally appropriate, totally appropriate. I mean, what words do we use to show how appropriate something is to the historical landscape?
I think
Are
Mark
there
has it.
certain
Wow.
phrases we use? Are there LPC phrases to use? And how are they defined? Mark, you raised your
So
hand.
my
first.
recommendation, I don't have any, statutory learning for you. My recommendation is that we assume that we mean appropriate, just good old fashioned appropriate, unless the discussion says otherwise. I do think that there's some virtue from time to time in using the words minimally appropriate to describe
Minimally?
things like we were talking about earlier, where you have to put a chairlift in to allow ADA accessibility into a historic building. No one thinks that that really looks like what it's supposed to look like, but you have to do it. And if they did it in the most sensitive way, then God bless and go on. That's what I would recommend that we do. And then for those rare instances where we think that it's, achieves nirvana, we can say something even more congratulatory.
Well, what did we say last time? What did we say about the Met?
Thoroughly.
Thoroughly.
Thoroughly appropriate?
Thoroughly.
Truthfully, I mean,
That's a
thoroughly,
reach.
minimally, reasonably are really creations of the board. The LPC makes their determination. It's either appropriate or it's not.
Yeah, you're right. You're
And
right.
so that's kind of something that has evolved at our board. I don't know about other boards, but it's evolved with our board kind of over the years. So
Not without value.
It's
Okay.
more like a declaration of saying, well, okay, it's not great. We'd prefer to be a little bit this, a little bit that, but it's close enough that, we'll approve it. But technically, Michelle, that it's either appropriate
Appropriate or not. Okay. No, I understand.
landmark.
I don't know what other community boards do because nobody
I
else
don't
shows
either.
up at LPC. And there are only two, speaking of the Met, there were only two boards of 5 or 6 that touched the park who that submitted resolutions to LPC for the Met.
And I think they just said it was appropriate. There are a few boards throughout the city. The one that covers Greenwich Village, Brooklyn Heights, and 1 or 2 other areas of the city that are consistently before landmarks just because the nature of the buildings in their district. There are a lot of, obviously, 12 districts in every borough, and maybe 1 or 2 of them get to LPC on a regular basis. We happen to be one of them, but most of them, aren't in historic districts. So
Okay, so we're going to start with appropriate and work it through.
yeah,
And if we need
Appropriate
to
or not
modify that,
appropriate?
yeah.
Peter, you were going to say something?
Oh, I have to go.
Okay.
Okay,
good
I think we all
night.
have to go. I just wanted
Yeah.
to note very quickly, I see at least one communication to Jesse from the owners of 304 West 89th that indicate that they wanted to come in March. I don't know exactly why they
You see an email?
Yeah, this is February 4th. I don't know. I'm February 8th. She sent it to us February 8th.
Well, so
But
maybe
anyway, I'm a little confused why it got added to the agenda this time, and it may not be the fault
So it's your
of
fault.
of the building.
Okay.
I get it.
Okay.
All right, good
Madge.
night, everybody. Meeting adjourned. Thank you very much.
All right,
I learned a lot from you all.
And I thank you for answering my questions.
Yeah, and keep asking, Josh.
Thank you.
Right.
Good night.
Absolutely.
Good night.
We're all learning.
Hey, Michelle,
Kay.
Michelle.
Yes,
if
sir.
If Kay is correct, if they're moving it to March, then we should nullify our resolution.
Jay, the chairs of the committee will always have the privilege at full board of withdrawing a resolution if it's confirmed that it's going to be on for the next month.
Okay, whatever, but you
Okay,
know,
fair enough.
obviously,
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
shouldn't
it
just-
appeared on our agenda. I feel
Yeah.
more comfortable having something in writing about this. Thank you.
Okay.
Good night.
Thank you. I appreciate.
Bye,
Good night,
everybody.
everybody.
Thanks, everybody.